Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday, good afternoon, or should I say good evening, and welcome to the fourth episode of Share My World. How's everyone doing? Great, I hope. Today's episode, I actually wanted to reflect on something that I've actually been always thinking about. It's crazy, but yeah. I don't know if I told you guys in the first few videos, I am actually a mother of four, three girls and a boy. But I never actually told you the story on how all of them came about, actually. So I figured that I would take this time in this episode to tell you about them. And I will definitely have them on my show. I really will. Once as you can clearly see, my living room is jacked up. But after I make this video, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. Well, sorry about the mess. But anywho, I'm gonna start with my oldest daughter, Diamond. Well, I'll set the stage for you then. It was the year of 2004. I graduated from J.F. Kennedy High School in Taylor. Yes, I know, people. I at first went to Truman, but circumstances in my life had occurred, so I wound up going to Kennedy. Which I don't regret. I love Kennedy. I've had lots of wonderful friends there at Kennedy. I had a ball. If only I can go back to my high school years. I'm probably like the only person that actually enjoyed their high school years, but that's another story. But anywho, a few months later on down the road, I believe sometime toward the end of September, beginning of October, I wasn't feeling too hot. I really wasn't. Spontaneously, I was living with my man at the time. He was my fiance, and I couldn't stand his mother's walls. They were just dirty. I hate dirt. I really do, especially on walls. Like, walls don't deserve to have dirt on them. Seriously, I don't care what color they are. But she had all white walls. So I literally got a bucket of hot water and a rag, and I literally went and cleaned all of her walls in her apartment. She was in shock. So she automatically assumed that I was pregnant. I'm like, oh wow, I'm cleaning your walls. You are automatically saying I'm pregnant. Oh wow, this is funny. Really, it is. But I didn't think much of that nature. So I took it upon myself to go to the doctors and get tested, a pregnancy test. And unfortunately, as you all know, it takes like a couple of days for them to give you the results because they got other patients that they got to deal with as well. So I waited. If I'm not mistaken, I think I took the test on a Thursday, if I remember correctly, because I know the weekend was going by, and I was sitting over here panting, wondering like, is it possible that I'm pregnant? Is it possible I'm not? Whatever. And then I kept telling my husband, my man at the time, well, he's still my man, sorry, my fiance, he was my fiance at the time. So I'm telling him, I'm like, you already know what my story was. I told you I was never going to get married and never have children. It's not that I don't like children. I love children. I really do. It was just I didn't feel that it was me. I watched my father go through all, these relationships. My mother had passed away when I was in the second grade. He married this one woman too soon. I kind of felt like that was my fault because I rushed him into giving me a mom because I miss having a mother in the house. Daughters out there, girls, you need a woman to talk to. How's that gonna look? You try to talk to your dad about menstrual cycle? Come on now. Your father's gonna sit there like, oh yeah, let me get my sister on the line for this one. But anywho, so that's just how my whole mindset was. You can ask my friends and my family. I pretty much just said all that. I was never going to get married, never had children. So the next week after I took the test, I got the results back. And yes, I was pregnant. I was pregnant. I was terrified. I was terrified out of my mind because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. So mind you, D'Angelo, my husband, that's his name, he was playing the game. And I literally went in the room and I told him, well, honey, I just got off the phone with the doctor with the results. I'm pregnant. He's going to probably kill me when I tell this story, but I don't care. I literally, I told him I'm pregnant. And mind you, he's playing the game. He's like, okay. I was like, no, hun, I'm pregnant, and there's a human growing inside of me. I'm pregnant. He was like, okay. And I'm like, hun, I am pregnant, child, growing, stomach, get to come out in 9 months, whatever. So he finally put the, game controller down, and he was like, okay, Denise, I don't know what you're worried about, because at this time he had signed up for the military and he was about to go to boot camp the next month, because this was in October when all this went down. So he said, well, what you worried about? I mean, the Navy is not only going to take care of me and, my education and everything, but they're going to help us as far as dealing, is helping us with, our baby. So I'm sitting here like, well, the reason why I was scared, because me and him never really sat down and talked about when was going to be the appropriate time for us to have a child, or whether he felt if he wanted to have children. We never had that conversation. I would think that normally if you a couple and you walking down the aisle, you never even sat down to even think of, children wise. So I was scared. I've heard all the stories that when a girl gets pregnant or whatever, they tell the guy, and the guy's like, well, it ain't mine, I don't want no kids, and then you're pretty much just stuck with the child for the rest of your life. No father to support you and everything of that nature. So yeah. But he was very, very understanding, very, very understanding. And his mom had asked me, was I going to get an abortion? Now, you all should know, I am not all for abortion. I'm not. I don't believe in abortions. I just don't. Because to me, that is murder. To me. Now, if you were raped, I can clearly excuse you having an abortion, because you don't want a constant reminder, and you don't want to put that child through that turmoil and that. Just all that. You really don't want to do that. So I can excuse, that. But for you to just simply say, oh my God, I'm pregnant, I'm about to get rid of it, I can't have a baby right now. Well, you should have thought about that before you open your legs. I'm just saying. Should have made the fool wear a condom. But anywho, so in November he wound up leaving to go to boot camp. And I stayed behind. And mind you, I did not tell my father I was pregnant. I did not. I really wasn't going to tell him. To be honest with you, I was not going to tell him I was pregnant, because the moment my father found out that who I got pregnant by, yeah, it's going to be hell to pay. Technically, no, because I was an adult at the time, so you really can't do nothing to me. I'm an adult. But anywho, I wound up going to chill out with my auntie Yvette, who lives in Detroit. Well, she still lives in Detroit, actually. So yeah, I wound up chilling out with her. It was around Christmas time. I don't know why my dumb ass won't sit over here talking about something. I don't want her to know I'm pregnant. You can clearly see that my stomach was sticking out. I mean, what the hell am I going to tell her? I've been eating like a pig and I've been gaining weight? Please, she ain't going to believe that. Aunties know. They know so when they're useless. But, I have to thank my auntie Yvette, my cousin Nikki, my twin cousins Dominic and Aurelia for helping me out during that time, because I, honest to God, didn't know anything about being pregnant, being a mother. So I have to thank them on that one. Thank my cousin Nikki, who helped me out with that. I'll never forgive them for that. I love them to death for that. And these are my mother's people, so I'm very, very close with them. I mean, I haven't seen them in a minute, but I love them to death. But so the months go by. He's still in boot camp, and I eventually found out that I was having a girl. And originally I was going to name her Rain. Rain, like the rain that falls from the sky. I know there's probably another way to spell rain, but that's how I was going to spell her name. But anywho, that's what I was going to name her at first. And he was writing me letters and sending me money to, to get things that I may have, needed. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move this camera around because I think it's kind of getting a little too bright. But I had I found out I was having a girl, so I was very ecstatic. I told him, I wrote him letters and everything. So it was pretty much of a stressful, pregnancy or whatever. I did eventually wind up telling my father that I was pregnant. No, he was not thrilled. He was not thrilled, especially when I told him who the father was, because my dad and D'Angelo had an acquaintance when I was in the 9th grade. That's another story. But yeah, so I I'll save that for another day. But yeah, he wasn't very happy. He really was not. And at that time, my stepmother had said something as well, and I don't know if it was my hormones that was talking, or I was just completely just ticked off. Because at that time, I really just felt like she did not know the situation at hand. Like she was just, one-sided instead of listening to both sides. You know how they always say there's two sides to every story? Well, guess what? She only focused on the one side. She didn't really focus on my side, too, and try to merge the two together. That's what you're supposed to do. When two people have a conflict, you listen to one side and you listen to the other side, then you put it together and you're like, okay, well, let's figure out who's in the wrong here. That's how you normally do it. No, at this point in time, she pretty much just took my dad's side. Go figure. Well, I'm pretty sure if the same thing was with my husband and I would automatically take his side because he's my husband. Go figure. So he wasn't very thrilled, and neither was she. But she did make effort to also help me during the time that I was pregnant with my first child. So yeah, pretty much that was difficult. So the time came for my man to graduate from boot camp. He sent me the money again for me to get a bus ticket because he was in Chicago. So you already know on a bus to Chicago, it's not going to take that long. I damn sure couldn't fly because I think when you are like 7 months or something, you're not, like 7 or 8 months, you're not allowed to be on a plane. I don't know why, but that's what was told to me. So I didn't do it. And I wasn't going to fly no freaking Chicago. Please, 45 minutes on a plane? Give me a break. So I wound up going, and I went with my brother-in-law, Dale, at the time as well. I guess he went with me to make sure that I got there safely and, holding down, which he did, and I thank him for that. We wound up staying with my husband's auntie, Tangi, and when I saw her, I dang old thought that was his mom. His mom and his auntie were like freaking twins. So I really thought his mom was playing a trick on me. I really did. She wasn't able to make it, so I wound up going for reasons never really to be told, but yeah. So I saw him again, and I was ecstatic. I've been away from him for so long. We've been separated for a long time, and for him to, for us to be separated like that again, it was just tragic. But I was happy. I really was happy. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay long enough because his I don't know if it was his commander or somebody, but it was time for him to go to his A school. Yeah, to go to A school. I think he was gone for A school for like, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been 2 to 3 months. I could be wrong. I have to ask him. I think it was 2 months. But I wound up going back, and then when it was getting time for him to come back to Chicago, I met him out there, and that was probably my final time being out here in Michigan when he sent for me to come back. So when he got out of A school, we pretty much just we hung out around Chicago because that's where my husband is originally from, Chicago. He's not from here. And to him, he'll say thank God because he can't stand being out here any more than I do. So yeah, we wound up getting married. We got married. On the day that his grandmother had passed away. She passed away I think a couple of years prior to the day, but she died on April 17th, and we got married on that day. So that day is very, very special to the both of us. We could have got married on any other day, but April 17th was the day. I believe his auntie had recorded us getting married because I distinctly remember the dress that I wore. I had a dress in mind that I wanted to wear. It was a creamy white dress. It was a maternity dress that I felt that I liked. No, his auntie gonna sit over here and pull out all her freaking little designer clothes on her bed and have me pick out. And what dress did she have? She had an all brown dress, a red dress, and a striped dress. I think it was I don't know if it was black or white or blue or white. It was one of those two. But I seriously looked like I was gonna go tango. Like I was gonna go do the salsa dance or something. But seriously, I looked like a bloated seal. Like what the hell? I didn't like that dress, but I accepted it. Thank God it matched his freaking Navy outfit. Jeez, oh Pete. I swear, when me and my husband renew our vows, I get my own damn dress. And I'm gonna promise you this, fans. It's not gonna be no freaking tango salsa dress with stripes. And fuck that, I look like a beaver. Now that I think about it. Ugh. Anywho. So we waited, and he had got his orders to go to Washington. Not Washington, D.C. I did think that, but no, it wasn't Washington, D.C. We wound up going to the state of Washington, Seattle. So we took the train. That, my friends, was a very, very long journey. Very, very long journey. I shit you not. But it was fun. Like sightseeing. Except you're on a train instead of on foot or in a car. Whatever, burning gas. So, yeah. It was fun. Mind you, I'm pregnant. But, it was comfortable enough. We had headphones. We had food. We, made a few stops or whatever. So we finally get to, Washington. So, actually, Washington is a very, very nice place. I really encourage you all to, to actually go to Washington, because I love it out there. No questions asked. I love it. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing. It's a new scenery, new place. It's nice. So he was told he had to go to Whidbey Island. Not thinking Whidbey Island is just the ordinary city, whatever, somewhere in Washington. Oh yeah, whatever. Whidbey Island was an island. We didn't know that at first until I picked up a book that they just happened to have there. And when I looked, I shit you not, I was like, honey, Whidbey Island is an island. And I showed him the picture. I'm like, yeah, we're literally on an island. So somebody had to come from the island to pick us up from the train station. So we're driving. Mind you, we are far. We are far from Seattle. No shit, we're on an island. Duh. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So we get to the we're going to the direction of the island. In the road to get to this island, it swerves. I swear it's like, I swear I felt like I was gonna throw up. Bad enough I'm pregnant. I've already went through the first trimester with the freaking morning sickness and the nausea and crap. I don't need to go through this in my third trimester. I'm damn near almost due. We had to cross this bridge, which is called Deception Pass. Trust me, the name says itself. But I'll tell you later on in the show about those. Probably like another episode or whatever. But anywho. So we get settled in. We get a nice little place for us to live. It's a townhome, 2 bedrooms, which is perfectly fine. So one night, this was June 1st of 2004. This was at night. I felt like I had to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to get graphic on you all because I know that'll be disgusting. So I wind up, I thought that I had to, take a dump, whatever. No, that was actually my daughter trying to come out. I was contracting at home, which I didn't know about that. Like I told you, this is my first child. I never really educated myself as far as, knowing the signs and everything of pregnancy. They told me about it, but I never put 2 and 2 together, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. I don't know everything, okay? I'm not God. God knows everything. I don't. I only know a little bit. Well, now that I have 4 children, you can pretty much say I know it all now. So, I was contracting at home. And there were times it stopped for a minute. So I went downstairs. I laid on the couch. My husband wound up waking up. He saw me on the couch. He asked me if I was okay. And I think I threw up, if I'm not mistaken. So he wound up taking me to work. He had another employee with him that takes him to work, because at the time we didn't have a car. So he wound up taking me to the hospital. And I kid you not, when I went to the hospital, they were trying to figure out like what was going on. I'm like, well, my stomach is really killing me, and I thought I may have to go to the bathroom, but nothing's happening. So they finally put me in the bed, and I shit you not, fans, when I got in the bed, my water broke. And it was gushy. That was just nasty. I'm sorry. It came out. I'm sorry. You can kill me later. But my water broke. So they was like, well, Miss Burgess, you're in labor. I'm like, what? Now you all know when you watch movies or you watch the little reality TV shows, I really don't think they're reality, but when a woman gives birth, I call that reality, because you can't fake no crap like that. But when a woman has, when she's going to labor, it takes a few hours for the baby to actually start coming. No, my black ass was contracting at home. I didn't have to worry about going through that long experience. I only was probably in labor for, 15, 20 minutes? Tops, probably. Because as soon as they looked down there, and I was like, well, don't I gotta wait till the, baby, do I have to wait till I contract or whatever? And they was like, well, Miss Burgess, you're fully dilated. It's time for you to push. I'm like, what the hell? So they put a mirror right there for me to look at my you-know-what. I'm not trying to say anything nasty because I don't want YouTube trying to ban my video. I'll be mad. But you know what I'm talking about, ladies. How they put the mirror right there for you to watch your child coming out. Who want to see that? looked at that crap, I swear, it looked like something from like The Exorcist or something. That's what it looked like to me. Oh man, but when my husband saw my daughter's head come out, he was like, what the hell is that? Doctor was like, calm down, that's the baby's head, that's her hair. And he was like, she got a lot of hair. And then when her head was all the way out, I kid you not, she went like this, like a little exorcist head turn. That creeped me out. But I finally pushed her out, and she was I didn't name her Rain. His auntie came up with this conclusion here. Well, since his name is D'Angelo, my name is Denise, why not just keep the D's in the family? So I'm like, there is not no dope names for no girls with D's. Come on now. Because at first I was thinking Danielle. Oh, no. That's not going to cut it. Dana. Oh, hell no. Diane. No. So she came up with the name Diamond. Well, diamonds are a girl's best friend, right? Diamonds are forever. And her middle name was Jean. That was my husband's grandmother's middle name, if I'm not mistaken. Nicole, which came from my cousin Nikki, who helped me during my pregnancy. And you all should know her last name, whoever knows me very well. So yeah, I had her. Stayed in the hospital, but unfortunately, my husband wound up being sent out for 6 months. So he missed out on 6 months of Diamond's life. It took a minute for her to get used to him again because he's been gone. Even though I showed her pictures of her father, acknowledged to her that was her daddy, and then when he called, I would put the phone up to her ear and have him talk to her so she knows that that was her daddy. It still took a minute for her to realize that this was her father, but she did. She realized that that was her father. There was no, mistaking that. So that was child number 1. On to child number 2, my son, my one and only son. Yeah, I wanted to give my husband a son. Because I always see these guys around here, just happy to have a son, to carry on their name, a son to play football and sports with and take him to, sports events, wrestling events, all that. So I really wanted to give him a son. So at least my heart was in the right place. I really just don't know where my brain was. But I really was desperate to have a boy. So I went out and bought these pills called Fertility Blend, and my husband knows these pills because he will literally be like, yeah, I remember those pills. Who does not remember those pills? So yeah, I bought the pills. Apparently, for these pills are supposed to get you pregnant within 3 months, 3 to 6 months. You take one in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't think there was nothing harmful in there. They're herbal pills. But apparently there's a chemical, not a chemical, I'm sorry. I think there's like a herb in there that gets a woman pregnant a little bit faster than you doing it the normal way. You all know the normal way. Don't play stupid. So yeah. And so I took them. And I will probably say 3.5 months later, I conceived my son. And I later on found out that what the sex was. Go figure. It was my son. So I was extremely, extremely happy that I had a boy. So D'Angelo got sent out again. He wound up going to Japan, and I believe it was for 2 months. So during that time, I went back home yet again to spend time with my father and my stepmother. And check this out. My stepmother was pregnant at the time with my baby sister, Paris. I love you, Paris. Hopefully I'll see you soon. So I chilled out with them, and when it got close time for him to come back, I wound up going back home. Mind you, I took a plane. I don't think I was that far along. I think I might have been like 6, 7 months. I think I said earlier that you're not supposed to be on a plane when you're 7, 8 months. But I think I was fine at that time, but I never got back on the airplane after the fact. I stayed home. So he came home. And he came back, and we wanted to go to Tacoma, Washington. It's I guess you say like a few miles from Seattle. It's quite some ways. But oh yeah, we went exploring while we were out there. We did not stay on that island. I kid you not. We went to Burlington, Bellingham, what was the other city? Everett, Seattle, Tacoma. I mean, we explored. D'Angelo, there was no such thing as staying in the house with us when we were in Washington. I kid you not. We were everywhere. everywhere. My husband was not going to let that happen. There was no such thing as staying in the house. We were gone. So we discovered Tacoma because there was a mall out there that we adored, we loved. So we went exploring. But anywho, we were going to Tacoma Mall, and while we were going out there, it took turns of raining on us while we were heading out there. And you know, it was kind of like on and off. It's kind of like when someone turned on a faucet. You know, it's going on and off, on and off, on and off. So we were driving on the expressway, and then the rain started happening again. I mean, it was raining to the point where all you saw was the back and the front of people's cars. So as we're driving, we couldn't really see in front of us. So when the person in front of us finally put on their brakes, we had to brake. Well, my husband was driving. I was in the passenger side, and my daughter, Diamond, was in the car seat. I was 8 months pregnant with DJ. So when we hit their car, we just nicked it. Like, you know, just a little nick. Nothing serious. And then all of a sudden, this Dodge Durango behind us hit us from the back, knocked us into traffic, and we got hit 2 more times. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a 6-car pileup that day. So after the accident, please tell me why all of a sudden the fucking rain stopped, where you can literally see. Oh, I can see all right. I see a 6-car collision, and our car was the main one that got messed up. We got hit 3 times. Mind you, my daughter was going like this the whole time we was getting hit. And the whole time I'm going like this. I'm trying to grab her. And at the same time, I'm holding my stomach because my son is in there. Scariest experience ever in my life. Just scary. I'm sitting over here panicking, thinking that my baby back there got severely hurt and that there's something wrong. Something could have really happened with my son. We got hit 3 times. Our car was non-drivable. There was no way in hell to fix it. No way in hell. Done. But this is the dumb part right here. The wench that hit us from behind, she gets to go to the hospital. They checked me out, checked everybody in my family out. Where did they take us? They ain't take us to no hospital. The ambulance took us to a damn hotel. Extended Stay America. Yeah, I remember that. Took the broad who hit us from behind because of her neck. Took her to the hospital. Oh yeah, but you take me, my husband, and my child to a hotel. I was supposed to automatically have went to the hospital. I'm pregnant. Go figure. So we wound up staying in a hotel. Mind you, I ain't had no pajamas. So we went to the mall, and I had to buy me some pajamas to sleep in or whatever. You know, my baby needed diapers. I had to buy her some diapers. Thank God there was a Babies R Us right there. Oh, how convenient. So the next morning, we felt the aftermath of the accident. The aftermath. That hurt like a bitch. So somebody from his command was sent out to come pick us up from the hotel in Tacoma. As soon as we got to Tacoma, I went through the emergency room. I let them know what the hell had happened. They checked me, and thank God my son was fine. You know, what they say is true. You know, when your baby is in the womb, you know, it's protected. So thank God for that. He was fine. You know, I went into labor with him. I think he took a minute for him to come out, but when it was time for him to come out, I started pushing. Doctors got the nurse over here told me don't push. Man, I looked at them doctors like, you know what? Go to hell. When I have the urge to push, I'm going to push. So I did. As soon as they lifted up that blanket, there was DJ just laying there like, anyone going to come and get me? Like, what's up? So that was my son. I'm very blessed that he survived. Because if I would have lost my child, I don't know what I would have done. I would have literally just lost all sanity. So that's child number 2. We on child number 3? Savannah, who I just caught eating my candy. That's why she's in the room. I got pregnant with Devonna when I was working at Tim Hortons in the year 2008. Once again, I was tired. This is another symptom. I was just always tired. I would go to bed at the right time and be like, okay, I should be okay now. I had got a good portion of sleep. No. Wrong again. Something was just not right with me. So, again, I went to the doctor's office. And I remember the doctor, too, because I still portray him. I'm literally sitting in the room, I'm paranoid, and then he comes in like, hello, Miss Burgess. I checked your results, and you are pregnant. And I was like, the hell I ain't. He's like, no, this bitch is you, I beg me. I kid you not, I wanted to faint. But I ain't trying to injure my head than it already is. I'm a nutball, you know, there's something going on in that brain, you just don't know what it could be. So yeah, I got pregnant with her. Mind you, when I went home and told my husband I wanted to beat his ass, you dirt McGirt, you fucking got me knocked up again, congratulations. Well, it's not all his fault, because I should have been on birth control. I should have stayed on birth control, but I don't regret having my children. I love my children to death. Mind you, we were living with his mother at the time when this all happened, and we were in the process of trying to get our own place. So that's when I had applied for the voucher for us to get our own place. This is actually how we got this place. This is our first place that we wound up getting. This is how we got this place with the voucher. But we didn't get the voucher until the year after. So when the day came of Devonna being born, she was born on December the 4th. That morning of December the 4th, my stomach was coming up again, so I automatically knew at that time that it was contractions. Yeah, I know what the contractions are now after my first pregnancy now, so I was familiar with that. D'Angelo, I think, had just worked a double shift, so he came home, he was exhausted, he was only able to sleep for probably like a couple hours, and then I woke him up and said, hon, it's time. That look on his face he gave me was priceless. It was priceless. I know he was pissed. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I was contracting. I didn't tell this girl to come on this day. I mean, I didn't. She just came when she was going to come. So, we wound up going to the hospital, as you can clearly see. And, why is it when I have a child and I'm contracting, it hurts like hell when I'm at home, but the moment you step foot in the hospital, your contractions just get more and more and more intense, like somebody is repeatedly stabbing you over and over and over and over again. It just got more intense. It's like starting to hurt even more once you get to the hospital. I think I see why women have children at home. It's probably less painful to have it at home than it is in a hospital. Oh, and FYI, I do not take epidurals or no spinal tap. None. All these births that I had were all natural. I've been told to be superwoman, okay, when it comes to children. When I have children, it doesn't hurt. The only thing that hurts are the contractions. But, sweets, when it's time to push, that's the most wonderful, beautiful feeling ever in this world. To have to push. But, they gave me some stuff to settle my contractions or whatever. It wasn't an epidural. They just injected into my IV. And whatever it is, I was like, can you prescribe this to me? Because if you give me this, I will be floating on air. Mind you, they had some students up there, I guess. Mind you, they were teaching the students about labor and delivery. Why the hell was I the experiment? Do I fucking look like a guinea pig? If I had the strength, if I wasn't all doped up on that medicine stuff they gave me to kind of slow down my contractions a little bit to make them stop hurting, I would have jumped my ass up out that bed like, let me tell you something right now, get the fuck out of here, I'm not no guinea pig, go play with somebody else. Go demonstrate some pregnancy for somebody else. Don't use me. I'm trying to have a baby. I go to sleep. But she came out, Devonna. Yeah, I had to go on a baby site to figure out a name for her. Because I'm telling you, there's not really a lot of good names for girls with D names. I'm telling you. And I was never going to name none of my girls after me. I want my daughters to have their own identity. I don't expect them to take after me. I just don't. But anywho, that was Devonna. And check this out. After I had her in December. January, toward the end of January, we wound up getting the voucher to get our own place. So we had, I think like 30 days to get our own place. So the landlord that used to be here, whatever, man, what direction? Yeah, this way, yeah, this way, yeah. Sorry, I know I'm just in all different directions, like yeah. But no, the landlord, Miss Evelyn, who was here, she had kicked a family out of this apartment that we're in right now. Because she had an issue with my mother. The people who used to live here had an issue with my mother-in-law. So she wound up getting kicked out. Speaking of Devonna, that's her. But yeah, she wound up getting kicked out. And we wound up getting this place she hooked it up for us and everything. So we signed everything, gave her the security deposit and everything, and we were all good to go. So we wound up moving here. And then I don't know if it was that same month we got this place for the next month, but we wound up getting a car. So it just seemed like everything that we had got, it was all because of my daughter, Devonna. So yeah, I have to, yeah, definitely blessed for that one. So 2013 comes, March. I find out that I am pregnant again, but I wanted this one. So come to find out, I was really hoping and praying to God that it was a boy. And me, D'Angelo, and my girl Shauna, aka Ying, she came with us because she wanted to know what the sex of the baby is. And she's actually the godmother to Angel. She loves her to death. When we went to the ultrasound to see what we were having, I was literally hoping and praying to God that it was a boy, because it would have been even, 2 boys, 2 girls. When the doctor said that it was a girl, you should have saw the look on my man's face when they said that. He was like, OMG, we are screwed. 3 girls. That is 3 heads for me to do. I'm going to have cuts and nicks and bruises on my hands doing their hair. Bad enough I'm having it right now. They got the same hair as me. It's a curse. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So I wind up, yeah, and when I went into labor with her, oh my gosh, that was freaking hilarious too. I was actually laying on that couch back there, that Selecto couch, when this was going down. Because at first I was having, I felt I was having contractions because my doctor at the time said I was 1 centimeter dilated. And so I figured that, you know, okay, cool, that means she can be coming any day. Because she was supposed to come on the 28th. Or the 29th of December. So I was like, oh my God, I do not want to be in the hospital on Christmas in labor with a baby. That is not cool. I got the Christmas tree up. I got the gifts all prepped up. I want to be at home, you know, stuff. So April 15th comes around, and my stomach is killing me. And it's not no, you know, stomach ache. It's hurting. So I automatically knew right then and there that, that I was contracting. So I contracted once again at home. My neighbor, Miss Shirley, took in my 3 oldest for me because I needed someone to watch the kids. I couldn't take them to the hospital with me. So when I get in the car, I shit you not, people, my water broke. I didn't want to sit on my chair when my water broke. So I had my husband go in the trunk and pick out something that I can sit on. He took out my work shirt. And I'm not going to say where it's from, but you all should know. I'm just going to say, yeah, that one. Yeah, I sat on it, and it was fine. I'll do it again if I wanted to. I'll use it to wipe my butt if I want to. But whatever, I don't care about them no more. So anywho, I get to the hospital, and once again, the contractions are getting intense. Like I said, this never fails. Every time I get to the hospital, my contractions just intensify even more. I hate that. So, yep, I pushed and pushed, and they said don't push because I might rupture something. Bitch, I had 3 kids before this 4th one came into the mix. I know how to give birth. I'm not stupid. Maybe you are, but I'm not. So they took me in the room. They was like, no, Ms. Burgess, don't push yet. We got to get you on the birthing bed or whatever before you even do that. Why does it matter what bed I'm on? I'm on a bed anyway. You got to roll my ass into the room anyway. What? All they did was roll me into the room on a bed and put me in another bed. Like, are you serious right now? Like, don't play with me like that, for real. I know how to give birth, stupid. But baby came into the world, and I named her D'Angela Lula Burgess. And Lula is from my grandmother, Lula Newsom, because I love her to death. God rest her soul, because she's always been there for me. She never judged me. She loved me to death. She loved all of her kids, all of her grandkids, her kids to death. So I'm not gonna cry. I don't need to cry on these videos. That's embarrassing. But yeah, her name is D'Angela Lula Burgess, but we call her Angel for short. It's a lot more easier to say than saying, you know, hey, little D'Angela. Every now and then I'll call her D'Angela, but I call her Angel for short. But you already know when kids go to school, they're not going to, you know, call him DJ or call her, you know, Angel. They're going to call them by their full-on name because they got to learn. Understandable. But, yeah, those are the lovely little stories on how I conceived all 4 of my children in labor and all the events prior to their birth. But I hope you all enjoyed that. And this is probably the longest episode I've done. I actually got approved from YouTube to extend my videos instead of them being like under 15 minutes. But considering all that I just told you about how I conceived all 4 of my kids, it was well worth me extending the time. So, until then, thank you for watching another episode of Share My World, episode 4. And be on the lookout for episode 5. You just never know what I will talk about and what else is going on in my life. But I enjoy sharing those wonderful little stories about my children. And once again, you will see my children on one of these episodes. Well, you saw one in the background. That was my 3rd oldest. But until then, God bless you all. Have a great day. Take care.